Did you play Lost Ark back when it first released here in the West, but quit? Perhaps you have heard the hype of the newest updates and you're wondering if now really is a good time to actually come back to the game. If so, this video might be, hopefully for you. And if you've been keeping up to date on all the latest news, a lot of what you're going to hear is going to be covered in most of all of it. So just a heads up. What I'm going to do is go over the bigger game changes that have come to us over the last 2 years with the focus towards what's not only myself, but friends and others who have more frequently kind of posted about as being reasons of what led them to walk away from Lost Ark at any point in time. Starting off, the first big change is the new solo raid content that is available for all characters. You're now able to do any content in tier 3 up to the latest in-game raids, which at the time of this video is going to be Echidna and Theamine. As a brief summary of what some of the good that comes with this is that for people who weren't able to put in as much time to be able to get in lobbies that may or may not clear, or when the end of the week is creeping up but you still have raids left over to do, or even for those who just want to prog and really learn a raid but aren't sure about joining prog groups and the time commitment of doing so. Solo raiding can help with all of this. Now, I'm not here saying that it's the absolute best thing in the world, as there are downsides for doing solo raids, and I'm going to link a video in the description and the comments from another creator that really covers the good and bad of doing these solo raids. But doing them can be a breath of fresh air when coming back to the game, as well as to help with the stress of doing raids with others when you're just not feeling up to it, or there's a time crunch and you know it's going to get stressful and it just doesn't add on to that. Along with the engraving support system, which I'm going to cover in a little bit, Elixirs and Transcendence has both received a buff and a nerf. So the Elixir system, the transmuting prices have completely decreased, while the supply of how much you get from the raid has increased, along with the hastened animation toggle switch on the screen, so you don't have to spend as much time going through and transmuting multiple elixirs in one sitting, and makes it super quick and easy to just blow through your gold. Along with this, the Transcendence restoration price has also decreased, while the supply of the dark fires you get from doing the raid has also increased to unlock those levels, along with an animation skip toggle as well to speed up the pace. We also now have a permanent 5x3 engraving support that is not tied to any event. So it's accessible across your whole roster on all of your characters, and you can lock it in even to the preset slab. The only thing that needs to be worried about with the engraving support is going to be this tier, quality, and stat lines of any accessories that you have equipped on that character, and the engravings can of course be whatever, even a different class all thrown together, as the engraving support's going to completely cancel that out. These are bound to presets, as I mentioned, so you can swap them between whenever you're wanting to go into a raid or into a chaos, or when you're just wanting to try out a completely different playstyle than what you had previously on that character before. Next up, level 7 gems are available for basically free. Yep, you heard me right. As long as you had raid currencies prior to the 2 week ago update that came with the solo raids, these currencies converted into a new currency that you can trade in for gems, honing materials, and more at the solo raid shop. It's going to look like a little blue trading merchant icon. It kind of stands out amongst the other gray trading icons. There is a limit of 11 damage and 11 cooldown gems per character, but this is reset weekly and is just there as a deterrence from trading all of your currency in for as many gems as you can, especially since these are not fusible to level up to the next one. And while they are not fusible, you can reroll these for no silver costs, as well as can choose which skill they reroll to be, similar to event gems in the past. With all of these changes, one thing that may be on your mind is, but what about the pheon cost? Not to worry, as there is not nearly as much of a pheon cost as there was in the old days. You are able to trade items that would cost pheons to purchase from the auction house at no cost, within your roster by utilizing the mail system. Just make sure you have the correct character name copied that you'd like to send things to keep it from being sent off into the abyss. This is something that can be absolutely helpful with setting up those engraving supports across your roster and really beefing everybody up. Just mail the good quality pieces like legendary 100 quality or the purple 85-ish to 99-ish quality to your alts without having to analyze what each engraving is on the pieces and pre-plan out which pieces to send where. Included in the no pheon cost is also the tripods. So now, if you know that you enjoy a class and you want to have 2 characters or more of the same class, it is easier to get some of those level 5 tripods to those lower characters at no pheon cost through the mail system. Unless you have, of course, the free amulets hidden in your roster storage that they just love to give out for free. Knowledge transfers are now done within seconds rather than waiting hours within the stronghold for the story to complete through or having to use those speed acceleration chips that we are given out. Chaos dungeons are quicker as now mobs barrel towards you with an increased aggro as well as cannot stun, CC, or knock your character up anymore and disrupt your skill rotation. Fate embers have been added into the game and are possible drops within Chaos Dungeons and Guardian raids when you use up that daily instance whenever you enter these. These can range anywhere from card packs to card XP to silver and to gold, anywhere from a low little bit of either a blue selector card pack or a 1,000 gold up to 100,000 gold or even a legendary card pack. All of it is RNG. Guardians have been trimmed down to 1 a day rather than the 2 per character a day. Ocean liners are accessible from anywhere on the map now. No more having to buy frost to the certain NPC that's kinda near the coastline at the port to be able to board the ship and go to another continent. Last but not least, Arkesia Tour was brought out alongside the Theamine release to us. It is an option that allows you to basically blow through horizontal content, including the Adventure Tome, Island Soul Collection, and collecting Makoko seeds all up into the Tunica continent. This helps with new players or non-horizontal Andes with getting more skill points, skill runes, stat points, masterpieces, Omnium stars, Giant's Hearts, Island Souls, and more to really just beef up your roster. This may not include all of the major changes that came to the game throughout the years, but I feel like it's a good overall generalized change from how it was back then to its current state. With all of this included, the game hasn't lessened on the grind mentality, but it has eased up slightly on aspects that could cause and would cause the worst burnout for playing the game. Good news is, AGS is also always asking for feedback on what players would like to see more in the game and what could be further improved on. So what changes that may come in the future could actually be influenced by yourself and others. If you do feel like there's something that was a huge piece of an update that helped rekindle your Lost Ark love that isn't mentioned here, feel free to share it down below in the comments to help others that may be looking for that piece, only for it to be missed in the video. With this, I'd like to leave with the last question. Do you feel like now is actually the best time to come back to the game, and are you going to be doing so if you had quit the game prior? Stay classy and sassy, as well as perhaps I'll see you around in Arkesia, guys.